From 20 years ago when we began with a simple 11 meg stream, we're now operating at 1,000 times that speed. That's thanks to a few inflection points along the way. So you may have noticed in looking at the agenda, the future as we see it centers a lot around Wi-Fi 6 and the migration to Wi-Fi 6. So I'm sure you've heard this before, and I'm sure you'll hear this again, but this is an inflection point for wireless technology, and it's driving many different changes in the network. So at first, I honestly kind of shied away from using the term inflection point. Again, you've heard that before, you'll hear it again. But then I looked at this chart and I realized that we've been on a steady curve of inflection points since Wi-Fi was introduced over 20 years ago. Right? So our first major jump came 10 years in when we went from roughly 50 megs all the way up to 600 megs. And then you fast forward 5 years later, and we're making another jump to a theoretical 3.5 gigs of throughput. And 5 years after that, now we're into Wi-Fi 6, and we're looking at almost 10 gigs of throughput. Now, I know those are theoretical, throughputs and outputs and capabilities. You won't see that outside of a lab, certainly. But from 20 years ago, when we began with a simple 11 meg stream, we're now operating at 1,000 times that speed. That's thanks to a few inflection points along the way. So Wi-Fi 6 is that next inflection point we see. And beyond throughput, it's going to change how we operate wireless connectivity. Now, many have been saying you're going to start seeing more wireless devices instead of wired devices, thanks to all those advancements. And that's why I bring up this chart, just to pause for a second on that, because I don't think it's instead of wired devices that we're going to see more wireless devices. It's in addition to. We just have more devices to support on the whole. This shows the data being pushed through different types of access technologies, be it wired, Wi-Fi, or cellular. So the light blue section here across the board, that is wired traffic. Traffic from those devices has continued to grow over the past 5 years, but to a greater extent, we've just added more wireless devices. Again, not instead of, but in addition to those wired devices, to the point where our wireless, which is comprised of this green and this dark blue section, exceeds probably the number, or at least the traffic here, of wired traffic that we see. So the future is definitely wireless, and that's up to this point without all the advantages that we see from Wi-Fi 6. Because wireless has so much to offer, we're seeing that transition, right? And the next generation of devices are going to demand a lot more, even than our current generation of devices do. Our devices go with us everywhere now, and those experiences with those devices seem to become richer and richer. I just started getting into AR and VR on my iPad, and that's what we're going to see, these AR, VR, 4K streaming video that require this big pipe of traffic that we need to push across the wireless. But then at the same time, we're seeing this wave of smaller devices hitting the network that still needs to, they're going to send those big pipe chunks of data at a time. They're going to send a lot of little, tiny chunks of data. I'm thinking of like a badge access reader, right? It sends a numeric code to a server somewhere and waits for that yes or no response. So I'm not sure the total data that's exchanged there, but on the order of kilobytes potentially. Still, our wireless needs to handle, a high volume of these little small communications. The challenge is wireless traffic, be it these small communications or these large, big chunks of data, shares the same airspace. So that small badge reader request is going to get in the way of that 4K video stream, or vice versa. The 4K video stream gets in the way of the badge reader connecting in the way that it needs to. But that's not so with Wi-Fi 6. We can support these small transmissions and the big, heavy data transmissions all at the same time.